Good evening. Well, we made it almost to the end of the year, and we have most definitely had our struggles this year, but we're sitting here and we're going to play a concert, and I think that says a lot. So, several years ago, he's out here somewhere. One of our alumni, when he moved here, found that there was no jazz band, and he is a big jazz person. So he asked, could he start a jazz band? He actually did it for his personal project for MYP. And I left him alone, and he did everything. He gathered together his personnel and got his music together. And so when he graduated, they enjoyed it, and they didn't want to give it up. So Tyler Bazemore decided to take it over, and I think Miguel, and they get together in the afternoons after school for several hours on Wednesdays and play jazz together. And it's been, as I said, it's been kind of a struggle because we have some people that should be in there that couldn't be in there. So they have fun. I'm going to let him do I have nothing to do with it. He does all the teaching, everything. And I'm going to let him come up and introduce the pieces whenever he's ready to do that. He may kick it off with the first numbers.
very much. That was 4 with our soloist of Oscar. Thank you. Our next song is going to feature our string section over here. It's called Beastly. Thank you. Had some killer solos from Miguel on the bass, senior this year, as well as Max on the guitar. For our final song, we'll be doing Man in a Suitcase, featuring our clarinetist, Owen.
this is our beginner band. So these students, for the most part, there's a couple just odd instances scheduling, but for the most part, they started in February. They had instruments by February. So they've been playing a little over 2 months now. Normally, at this point, they'd be playing some lines in their book for you, but these guys have come far and fast, so they're able to actually perform some sheet music for you. And the first one is that classic by Ed Huckabee, Uncle Buck's Truck. Before I handed the music out to them, I thought I would preview it with my older group. And so they played through that. Okay, fine. And we played through the next piece that I wanted them to play. And they liked it so much they refused to give it up. So we decided that we would just play this piece together. Y'all can join us. So it's got some difficulty to it, you'll see. And these guys actually play it very well. We had a recording, and because in the different classes, I have some instruments in one and some instruments in another, and they couldn't hear everything. So we had a recording that at the end of the practice, we would put that on and play with it so they could hear all the different parts and fit into it. And they do a real nice job with it. I'm actually going to have this year's drum major is going to come up and conduct this. I guess this will be I'm not even going to say it. He'll come up and conduct this one.
So every year, or most every year, all the seniors try and band together to get Miss Campbell a gift just to show our appreciation.
I'm not doing this now.
It's only time.
Okay, I better not get sad.
Just to show our appreciation of what she's done for us all over the years. So, we got you some stuff.
That's why he's my favorite. Don't tell the rest of them.
Wait, let's get the flowers first. Bouquet number 1.
Thank you. That's roses.
And it smells so nice. And the whole plant's flowers.
Figured you need a bit of a rest, so we got you the day at the spa.
I wonder if I've got time to, let's see, I wonder if I've got time to get a sub before tomorrow.
It's $200.
Oh my gosh, I can have 2 days.
Yeah, you can have 2 days.
Y'all are so sweet.
And then a car.
Thank you, sweetheart. I can't talk about them now. I have to wait toward the end. And I promise that I will talk about them then, but I can't do it right now. I love y'all. Miguel, you look like
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'll come around and catch the rest of you later. I just wanted to introduce you to this beginning band that just played. Percussionists in the back. Well, they might have left the stage. There they are. Third row. Third row, stand up. Brass is second row, up. First row, up. So I call this their opening number, and I always like to open a concert or a group's portion with a march. And this is an oldie but goodie. As a matter of fact, the music is stamped Theodore Roosevelt Middle School. So it's been here a while. So we had some continuity between first and second semester. A few of them have been here since, well, stand up if you've been here since September. In this class, face to face. The ones of you that were in this class in September, Luca, you. Yeah, so not many of them. Most of them, oh gosh, you can come in and sit with your folks. I'm sorry. Well, honey, I already raised mine. I'm not in the market. Okay, you can sit back down. Most of them, however, came in this semester. Let's see what we got here. If you're in middle school, stand up, or if you're in the back, raise your hand. If you're in 9th grade, stand up. Sit down, middle school. 9th grade, stand up. 10th grade, stand up. Whoops. That was a bad scheduling year. 11th graders, stand up. Well, poor little Riley. Seniors. So this is a really young group, and they've done a great job. We've had a really good time. We just kind of went in. We have a weird instrumentation. We're missing instruments that we should have. I would drag stuff out of the library, which that library is 50 years old, just like the school. And we would start playing it, and every little bit after we'd play it a few days, I'd say, do y'all like this? And if they said no, we put it aside, and if they said yes, we kept it. And then we chose our favorites for the concert. So this one is called a French Canadian Suite, and we're trying to do something a little bit different, so you'll hear the difference here. I won't make, I like to have Val because it's the titles are in French, and I love when he says it because he's French. So I'm not going to tell you what they are because I really butcher them. There's 3 little segments, though, and we'll stop just briefly in between. We've had a really good time with this one. It's called Hopak. This is a Mussorgsky piece that's been transcribed for band, and it's just been a whole lot of fun to work with. We'll play that for you now. Oh, you want me to announce the all count? They want me to announce, and I should have. I don't make notes. I'm really bad about it. I usually just start talking and see what comes out. We had 3 students that made all county. Now, there was all county orchestra was held here, but unfortunately, band was not allowed to be had. So the kids are supposed to get patches, and they have a program, and they'll have their names in it and that kind of stuff, but they did not get the opportunity to have that this year. But we had 3 students on hard instruments to make it on. In middle school, Kahili Carey, she's a horn player. She's my gift this year. She came to me this year. She's my gift. And the other 2, our high school players, and like I said, really difficult to make that group, are Marley Mutter on horn and Tyler Bazemore on trumpet. I'm going to let y'all guess the name of this next piece. You can even sing along if you want to. told you there was no theme. Believe it or not, and I would never have believed that that would have been one of the favorite pieces that a group of teenagers would pick. It's been around way longer than I have. The next one, you'll also recognize some things. These are a medley from the Beach Boys. So obviously, I'm too old to be doing all this stuff by myself, especially the stuff that happens out on the football field for months during the end of the summer and the early. I think one of the guy that used to be the band director for years down at O'Galley said, marching band is not the kind of activity we should have in Florida this time of the year, but we do. So several years ago, Mr. Murray, who is we'll talk more about him later, but he is our orchestra and choir director. His son came in and he said, I really want to help. Well, he's done way more than help. I depend on Phil for everything, and he never stops at the end of the season. He's always here right through the rest of the year, too. Kids love him. I love him. I feel like he's part my son. I know his mother would argue with me, and maybe someday she would give him to me. I don't know. But he always does a number, conducts a number on the concerts, at least one, and he's sitting back there playing his trombone as well. And he came out of the library, the music library, with this piece of music, and he said, "Are you familiar with this?" And I go, "It's like one of my very favorite pieces." And yes, we will do it. So we're doing it. We're missing a few instruments, and I've done some rewrites to make that happen. And this is called Battle Pavon. we complained earlier that it was cold. It's not cold anymore. So I'll talk about these seniors just for a minute. I won't say much because I'll get in a mess if I do, but I always think, it'll get easier, but it never gets easier to let go of them. I get to keep them, most of them, from the time they're in the 7th grade. So and with the hours that we spend with marching band and those kinds of things, I get awfully attached to them. So I'll just go from the front row. This is Owen Ridgway. And Owen, you can stand up. Owen and his brother came to me. Owen was in 7th and Declan was in 8th grade, and they both wanted to play the clarinet. And Declan led everything up last year, and then Owen took over right behind him. And he will do anything I ask him to do, and I'm going to miss him terribly. Tyler Bazemore. It was our drum major this year, though that was a little strange, but, things are what they are. Tyler is another one that he's done everything I've asked him to do. You noticed him playing drums earlier. He plays trumpet. Trumpet's his main instrument. He also plays saxophone pretty well. He picked that up sometime last year, I think. So he's, next year, somewhere out here, I have a former student who is a music ed major at FSU, and next year, Tyler will join him at FSU as another music major. I must make it look easy. What do you think? I must make it look easy. For some reason, they think they want to be band directors. It's the greatest job in the world, let me tell you. Well, do you agree? Yes. Mr. Murray? Let's see who I got across here. Marley Mutter is a horn player. Marley came into it a little bit late, though she didn't come into music late. She'd been playing cello for a long time, and her older brother was another one. He was in orchestra, played viola. All of a sudden, he decided he wanted to play trumpet, and then he decided he wanted to play French horn. Well, Marley did the same thing, and as Mr. Murray always says, when they go from orchestra over, that they've gone to the dark side. But Marley, she actually stayed in orchestra as well, so she does both things. And she has been accepted as a music ed major at UCF. And Connor James. Connor started as a little 7th grader. Everything had to be perfect for Connor, and he's been that way since he was in the 7th grade. He's still that way. He's just a super trombone player, a lot of power and strength. He's also super smart. He reminds me ever so often, still holding that 4-0 down, so he'll be one of our valedictorians this year. Connor James. Oh, and Miguel Bankston. Miguel has taken more music classes at Cocoa Beach than any other student, I believe. He has been in band and orchestra all the way through until this year. He couldn't get everything arranged for both, but up until this year he had done both. And he's another one that does everything. He plays. You saw him play. He plays a mean electric bass. He also plays the stand-up bass, which is what he played in orchestra, and tuba for me. And band directors get especially attached to their tuba players. So I will miss them all. I love them. They know I love them. I tell them all the time. And I'd like them to stand up and give them a round of applause, if you would. I forgot. Kai couldn't get into band this year, but has been our percussion person. He actually started when we started having a pit percussion for marching band. He was actually the only one we had, and he was like, "I don't care. All I've ever wanted to do was be in marching band." When he was actually headed over to Edgewood and decided that he wanted to be in marching band more than he wanted to go to Edgewood. So that's Kai Whidick. Now, my last little thing, and I promise I'm done. We have one more tune. So this was supposed to be a really, really big surprise. But, I don't do very well with that. So Mr. Murray has been our choir and orchestra director, I don't know how many years now. He took over as a short-term sub, and then when the job became full-time available, he took over from there. And one of the students said the other night, of his students, he's just been everything. He's been a friend. He's been a spiritual advisor. And to me, his family it's like they're my family. So I'm feeling really deserted long about now that he's retiring. But our surprise was going to be Mr. Murray is really a band director. And the kids and I talked a month or so ago, and we talked about this being these last concerts. And I said something about, man, I hate to see him go out with an orchestra. And so the kids said, well, he can conduct us. Well, we didn't want him to know. And so I've just had him, first I asked him, I need one more piece. What do you think I might do? I knew he would tell me something he liked, and he did. He said, air for band. I said, oh, that's great. So we worked on it, and then I've had him coming in doing rehearsals with the kids, and I was playing, and he said, are you going to play that tonight? And this afternoon, because we weren't going to tell him. I was going to just surprise him, bring him up. And I said, well, how can I do both? And he looked kind of funny. And I said, oh, well, I'll just tell you. We were going to bring you up and have you conduct it. So I'm going to ask Steve Murray to come up and conduct us. And this will be him going out as a band director.
I had no idea this morning when I left home that I would be doing this. Otherwise, I would have wore my tie, Miss Campbell. But this is a treat. I've been here for 7 years. I came in under not so happy circumstances. Maureen Baldino, who held this position before me, had to go out on medical leave, and since then she has passed away. Before you leave, you should take a look at the memorial bench dedicated to her memory in the foyer of this building. Her family came in a few months ago at the 1-year anniversary of her passing and placed that there. I think people pass by it every day and don't know it's there. Ms. Baldino was a great teacher and loved by all of the students who I then took over, which was tough in those days. But she did so much for the program here. Her students loved her, and then they asked me to come in. And so it was actually a tough transition. But in those days, she was feeling well enough and came in and worked with me, with the students, and they would then warm up to me. It was always fun to know that if I ever needed my band fix, all I had to do was walk across the hall, and Ms. Campbell would say, hey, you want to take us through a couple of numbers? And I would always say, don't ask me that unless you really mean it. And so I was always ready to get my band fixed. Over the past 7 years, she has become like family. Around my house, my 3-year-old grandson calls her Nana Campbell. Now, I don't know, I think you do know this. This week, he informed us that she is now Nana Campbell Murray. And so she has been an adopted grandmother for our family, and we've grown really close. She's a friend, always will be. And I thank you guys for supporting these guys behind me. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve here at Cocoa Beach. Thank you.
I thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.